my house.
Oh, I will not run into
We're
that.
starting the
Hey.
meeting
Sorry.
at 9 a.m. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to read the criteria for public forums. Public forums are limited to 5 minutes per topic. Discussions or comments about town employees, agency members, or volunteers should be avoided so as not to violate individuals' rights. There's no one present for the public forum. So then we'll go on to the minutes from last month's April 16th meeting.
God bless you.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. And now, Michelle, we'll go on to you. You can read your director's report,
Yes.
discuss the outreach report,
Yeah.
and give us next month's events.
Yes. So if you've noticed, down at the center, I have removed the gardens that are in front of the dining room and alongside the dining room. You had a substantial invasive weed in there that Ron, one of our wonderful volunteers, could not get rid of. It's constant trying to get, it's a tuber, so it just keeps on going wherever. I had repeatedly asked for a number of years, well, let's say maybe 2 years now, to have someone come and do the weeding. And really, I didn't have anybody who was willing to volunteer that time. I don't think that paying someone to maintain that section is responsible for us when there are other things I could do with that money. So, that being said, I had the gardens in front removed. And we have a barrier being put down as we speak, and we have a crushed stone coming in today. It should be there by this afternoon, and one of our volunteers is going to shovel that and put it alongside so it looks nice and make that area look nice in there. And then where the golf section was, it was a great idea. It worked for a little while, and then it went by the wayside, and then it just started to look terrible. So I had that taken up as well. I'm kind of up in the air of what I want to do with that space. I may put a little patio in there, but to have grass grow there, which doesn't really grow grass. So maybe a little stone patio or a pavement, a cement patio down the road. But right now it will look beautiful by the end of today. It should look really nice what was done.
You know, I mentioned many times, I don't think we'll ever grow grass there because that is part of the sand pit.
Yes.
And if you look at the cemetery, you'll find they can't grow grass either.
No.
And that is the same reason.
I have many people ask me to put in grass at the senior center. Put in grass, put in an irrigation system. No, no.
Green grass, why?
Right.
Why are what is the reasoning? is
I
what
have
I
no
mean.
idea. I have no idea.
I have
We've
to-
tried repeatedly to grow
Right.
grass down there.
You're
We've
not
had
gonna grow
loom brought
grass.
down. It just doesn't. You
You'll
can
grow
put
a
as
lot
much.
of weeds.
Yes, yeah, we've had it dug down certain amount of feet and,
Yeah.
loom put in there, and it doesn't matter because the sand comes right back up through, so all we grow are beautiful weeds.
The section where the horseshoe things
Which
are,
have gone by the wayside as
a
well.
good, maybe about 10 years ago, the Friends of Sutton Elders, we had
Yeah.
a landscaper come in, he dug up everything, he
Yeah.
really did a good job. But it's true, there's so much gravel there that you
Yes.
would have to really, I don't know how many feet, but you'd have to
think you'd have to-
really go down,
yes.
put
Some sort of a
loads
barrier.
loom, and loom is very expensive.
Yeah.
And that deal was quite expensive.
It was,
But
I
we
remember.
took it on, and we paid the man, for a little while it did. But when the weeds grow, if they
look nice.
grow, they're
They grow green.
So it's green.
So like I say, you look at the cemetery, there's many
Yeah.
people that have tried to put grass on their,
Right,
on
you
their,
can't. Yes.
things. And they, eventually, it's just like that. It
Yes.
doesn't work.
Right.
Too
And-
much gravel.
Right, and an irrigation system is very
Oh my God!
expensive.
Remember years ago we
Very.
looked into that was like 10 grand, and that was
Oh, yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, but an irrigation
I
system's
don't think
not
that-
gonna help.
it's
you.
not
No,
gonna help.
it's
It's gonna
not.
water the weeds.
Absolutely,
We all get
absolutely.
that. It's all the other people. So, I do think it's going to look beautiful. And again, I had to make that decision. I can't keep doing it myself. To get volunteers or to get even some of our seniors out there, it's too hot. I don't want them out there down on their hands and knees digging in the dirt in the garden trying to figure all that out. So I had it removed. I also had the vegetable garden removed because the one or two people that were doing that, one has gotten very sick and I don't think is probably going to be back to really work in it. And that was really kind of the last of the people who were interested in growing any vegetables down there. So
He did a very nice
Oh,
job,
absolutely.
but we get a lot of vegetables brought down
Yes.
throughout the summer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm
we
very
really
grateful
do.
for that, yes.
Yeah, from people's
Yes.
gardens,
Yeah.
local people, or people
Yes.
who visit
Well,
the
you also
center.
get it from St. Mark's.
Yes.
from
Absolutely.
Whittier.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we
I
do.
mean, St. Mark's is growing their garden for people like
absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
They,
us.
Yeah.
I mean, people like us.
yes, yeah. And it's so beneficial and they love it. So
They do.
honestly, I can't thank those
True.
organizations enough for bringing us vegetables. But anyhow, that's being taken down. And also the horseshoe pits. They've been there. It was great when they first started because
Yeah.
people from around would do horseshoe tournaments. And that, again, has gone by the wayside as people have started to pass away. Horseshoes is just not where it's at. So we started to take that down too, so it'll just be easy to keep up and mow, and it doesn't look terrible there. So we're just doing a lot of
It's time
cleaning
for a
up.
change, and overall, once everything's
Yes.
settled and in place, it's
Yeah,
it'll
I think
be
it's going to look
pretty.
beautiful. We're
It'll
still
be
going to
pretty.
keep those beautiful gardens in front.
Yes.
And along the side to the food pantry. I can at least walk by and pick those, and it's kind of in the shade if anybody wants to help out. So feel free to pick a weed. So we are going to keep those there, and I appreciate your understanding and support because it's a big job to do.
It is.
Looks
It is.
terrible when it's overrun.
It does.
And nobody wants the job, including myself anymore. So, we are soon going to be receiving, and I'm not entirely certain when, but the electric car and an electric charging station at the center. This is free through Jim's. We're not putting any, through Jim Smith, that we're not putting any money into this whatsoever, but we will have access to the electric car. It's going to save us a ton of money in gas. However, for the time being, we will keep the small SUV that we have because we have several seniors that use wheelchairs, and we need that car won't accommodate the wheelchair. Or some of our really tall seniors. We have a
Right.
couple of tall men that I think are going to have a hard time getting in and out of that car. So,
Eventually, is the electric car going to replace the SUV,
You know,
or is
I-
it going to be both?
it's gonna be both for the time being.
For the
I don't,
time being.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
really know. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to really wait and see how that works out.
Right.
Because again, we do need the leg room, not so much for our driver, but we have a couple really tall seniors men that that need that extra space, and along with the wheelchair, if they're wheelchair, a handicap
Where is the charging station going to be?
It's going to be
located?
over by the food pantry, so it's going to be kind of over
Oh,
in that
okay.
section.
Okay.
So can anybody use that?
I believe so.
So you,
If you haven't, yeah.
so your electric bill is gonna go up.
I don't know how that works, Ginny. I'm
Well,
not sure.
Well, that's what happened here, and that's why the town's now paying for the historical society's electric bill, because they are in charge of the charging station.
Oh,
And that,
I'm not certain how that
was
works.
part of the arrangement.
right, because the electric bill went sky high.
Yeah, but keep in mind, the town owns that building.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
That
The
was
town
part of that
owns,
whole
the
process.
town also owns
You know,
the
senior center.
senior center.
Yes.
But
I don't have a
That
problem.
was all worked out, because if you didn't do that, why should the Historical Society pay the bill
I-
for the
I-
automobile that they're
I
not
agree
using,
with
you
it,
know?
I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
right. Well, especially where if it's going to be just anybody who happens to need a charge
Yeah, I
on
don't-
their
yeah, I don't-
electric
that's
car,
what
they
I'm
just come
saying.
I
down.
truthfully don't know how that works. I would have
don't
thought
either.
that he probably would have discussed that with me when we did the budget. And later on, we'll talk about next year's budget, because I understand there are some concerns. I would think that he would have kept the electric where it was instead of reducing it, because we are back on track with the panels and saving money now, so. We are. Jim took care of that. So that's, I can certainly have an answer for that the next time we meet, or talk to Jim about it and get back to you, but I don't remember that being discussed. In a few minutes, so I'll go back to the budget. I attached it for next fiscal year to explain a couple of things that have been brought to my attention. I wrote about vacation here. You can cross that right off. You can't go. So, yeah, so just cross that off. We did have a part of that landscaping over there. We did have that, God bless you, part of that tree removed. That was over in that corner that was impeding the side of the building and
Yes,
hanging
it
over
was,
onto
yes.
on the roof. So we no longer have that there. Let me go to the, God bless you.
Excuse me.
The
To
outreach?
let me do the calendar first, and then I'll go over to outreach and then the budget. So we have a lot of great events for June. I'm so excited about, there are a couple of things that are just really good. On Monday, June 3rd, we have a woman from Upton, and she
Massog.
yes, yep. She does ancestry and all. We had her several years ago,
Right.
and she's going to come and discuss letters from World War II, and it's the tale of a different type of soldier, and it's based on 300 letters from 2 years of. Her name is Seema. Her uncle spent time in Italy with the army. So she has all this information, which is kind of like information that you can learn from non-traditional sources. It looks like a really good presentation. I hope you can come out to that. So that's Monday, June 3rd at 10 a.m. All are welcome to our programs, by the way. So feel free to spread the word on that. Hiking and biking still going on, going strong. Fraud Squad every Tuesday from 10 to noon. If you have any scam issues, any concerns, any comments, please feel free to come on down and speak with our Fraud Squad volunteer. We're still offering massage therapy on Thursdays from 10 to 2. Feel free to call the Senior Center and set up an appointment for that. You pay her directly. They're half-an-hour appointments, or you can make it for an hour, whatever you'd like, but you pay her directly.
The people who were doing that, not myself, but really good word of mouth.
yeah.
They seem to be really pleased with
Yeah.
her, and they
Yeah.
said the amount of money that it costs, it's well worth
She-
it, and
yeah.
it's very reasonable.
Yes, yep. She's really doing a great job with that, so it's kind of nice to offer. I'm really excited about Thursday, June 13th. at 10 a.m., I have Toto the Tornado Kitty coming. So excited. Thursday, June 13th, 10 a.m. Okay, so Toto was a kitten, and he was found in a tree from the Brimfield tornado that hit. And he was found in just a bunch of rubbish and whatnot by one of the EMT paramedics. And he and his wife nurtured that kitten, and he's got all the pictures and videos on how they raised him up to be this beautiful cat. I met him a while ago, maybe last fall at another event, and just a great cat. You can pick him up and throw him over your shoulder. Oh my God, just so used to being manhandled. And what just a great cat. And he's written a couple of books about this. Now, he wasn't a writer or anything like that, but the story is just so fantastic. So anyhow, come on down and see Toto the Tornado Kitty and Jonathan, his...
Will he have his books with him? for
Y-
sale?
Yeah, probably. I would think so.
Most likely.
Yeah, I would think so.
Be surprised.
Right.
Yeah, if you talk to him, maybe.
Yeah, maybe he would bring.
suggest it,
Yeah, I
right?
could ask him to bring some books down. He very well might. I know that he does with, if he does tours of schools and things like that, but, so that's kind of neat. I'm very excited about that. On that same day, busy day, we are having our Father's Day luncheon, and that's also Thursday, June 13th at 11:45. You need to contact Michelle Saucier and sign up if you'd like to join us for that. You need to RSVP by Tuesday, June 11th. Give us an idea. Dads are going to eat for free. So the guys are going to eat for free.
Do you know what they're serving?
Yes, they are serving barbecued chicken, cornbread stuffing, roasted broccoli, and cream puffs.
I think
It's
it's
right
in
on the
the
front.
insert.
Oh, okay.
It's in the insert.
All right.
So,
There's an insert
Oh,
with
oh,
the
that was
things.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah.
so
It's right here.
that's what we're saying. And that meal so dads or gentlemen eat for free. That is because of our good friends of Sutton Elders will be sponsoring that for the guys. Anybody else that attends needs to bring
That's like
$3 per person. Any guests that you have, but the guys will eat for free that day for dads. On Thursday, June 20th at 11:45, we are having our baked potato bar, which is huge. It's fun, delicious. Chili, cheese, broccoli, sour cream, bacon bits. You come and just stuff your baked potato up. It's a lot of fun. People really enjoy it. It's $3 per person. You need to RSVP again with Michelle Saucier. She's our meal site director. And you need to do that by Tuesday, June 18th. Gives us some time to make sure that we have enough for everyone. On June 24th at 11:30, there will be no congregate meal. So there are Meals on Wheels, yes, Meals on Wheels will go out, but there won't be a congregate meal because State Rep Joe McKenna will be there, and he's having a picnic lunch for us. So they're going to be grilling hot dogs and hamburgers. They're going to have different types of salads, baked beans, watermelon. So he's going to make it a traditional picnic. It's free, and you need to RSVP at the front desk. You need to RSVP at the front desk because they need to know how many people are coming, not the meal program. So again, there's no congregate meal on Monday, June 24th. I really don't think that affects too many because not a lot of people typically come to lunch on Mondays. But now we're gonna have a nice big picnic lunch that day. And probably definitely the most important thing that we have coming up is we have a Thanksgiving luncheon. And I kind of noticed that we are serving turkey, roast turkey, gravy, mashed sweet potatoes, roasted Brussels sprouts, and cinnamon pears. And I thought, oh my God, that's a Thanksgiving. And what should we give thanks for? Our volunteers who help us to run all of these programs, from the people who answer the phones, to the people who work in the kitchen, to the people who deliver the meals, to the people who run classes, people who work in the food pantry. There are a lot of wonderful volunteers at the center, so we're going to give thanks for those volunteers. So that is our Thanksgiving luncheon. We're giving thanks for our volunteers. All of our volunteers will eat for free that day. again, courtesy of our friends the Sutton Elders. So thank you, friends, for all that you do. And again, any guests that come with your volunteer, it's $3 per person. And again, I ask that you RSVP to Michelle Saucier, our meal site director, in the kitchen. And if you could do that by Friday, June 21st, so we have an idea of, again, how many people are coming. But again, we're giving thanks for our volunteers. I really hope that everyone can come out and support that and meet our volunteers, get a chance to chit-chat with them, because they really are the backbone of our senior center and our programming. So I think that's pretty
wanna
much it,
mention
other
the
than...
Book club?
Yep. Other than book club, we have a book, it's called, on the 19th, it's called Harry's Trees. It looks like it's written by John Cohen. You can contact the library and grab a book there. Everyone is welcome to that wonderful group. Please feel free to come on down and support that. The newsletters are available always at the senior center in the front office as you come in the lobby. So feel free to always grab a newsletter. You can find our newsletter online at suttonma.org. Under the senior center, you'll see a tab. You can go right to the current newsletter, and you can get it that way. Or if you don't have a computer, aren't kind of savvy with that stuff, and you can't really get down to the center, we're more than happy to mail you one. We try to go the route of getting you to go to the town hall. They have it available here at the library, online. It's put in the local papers. But again, if you'd like this mailed to you, feel free to give us a call and give us your address or whatnot, and we can certainly mail that out to you.
Bring up this one.
Yeah. So on the back, in our newsletter, I have started a little section of upcoming events. I've been asked to give people a heads up advance of special things that are coming on. So our ukulele group, which started out with a couple of people asking about ukulele, has now turned into a monstrous group. And they are going to perform for us for the first time. And they're going to be there on Wednesday, July 10th at 10 a.m. So put that in your calendar, July 10th, 10 a.m. Our ukulele group will be giving us a performance. Coming up in August, Thursday, August 8th at 1 o'clock, there is a wildlife sanctuary hike. And we'd like you to sign up at the front desk if you're interested in going on that hike. I provided the links to the websites. I encourage you to go on and on the internet and look at those two links. That's where you're going to be hiking. That's the person you're going to be meeting, Shaylin Liu, and she's invited David Brown. He's an author and outdoor wildlife tracker. So it's going to be kind of neat. So feel free to check out those sites, and I hope you enjoy that.
Oh, you will enjoy that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a nice site, huh?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
Boylston, not far
Yes.
from Tower Hill.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, check out the
It's a
website.
beautiful area. She's done a marvelous job.
Apparently, they have a new walkway going in there
Yeah.
that should be done. So
Because last time when we went, the beavers had made it so we couldn't walk there.
they've been busy. So that is what's coming up June, July, a little bit of August there. Any questions? Okay. All right. We have our new outreach report. Still a little fine tuning going on, but I've included two different things. So there's the outreach report with numbers, and then there is what Clark deals with. And it's kind of a list. I want you to be able to familiarize yourself with it in case you know of anybody who is in need of guidance in any one of these services. So I'm going to rattle them off. So their information and referral for seniors and their families, that's what Clark does. When Clark's not there, that's what I do. And this is what we take care of: legal issues, financial concerns, elder fraud, Social Security restrictions and disability, mass health and Medicaid, caregiver support, elderly housing transition, medication concerns, health and nutrition, food stamps and SNAP benefits, medical insurance, fuel assistance, grief and loss, elder abuse and neglect, safety issues, and long-term care options.
I like this report. I like the way it's
Yeah,
laid out.
yeah, it came out nice. These are the things, we don't give you all the answers. We guide you as to what would hopefully work best for you and your family. So feel free to contact Clark at the senior center or myself. If you know somebody in need, he's really, really wonderful at what he does. Just kind and loving at all of that, so. So here are the numbers. Phone calls are 418. I didn't do men and women specifically yet, because we had so many things going on that paper, so we might adjust that around. Our own senior center did 38 rides for the month of April. Elder Bus Transportation did 51 rides. We fielded and referred off to people for veterans questions, off to veterans. We helped 2 people sign up for food stamps. And these are, again, this is all seniors. 3 legal referrals. We have Denise Miner, who's just been fantastic at answering some basic questions and giving guidance to some of our folks that need a little assistance. So if you have any questions, legal questions or concerns, you can let me know. You don't typically have to tell me what's going on, but I can have Denise get in touch with you if you'd like to talk to her about something. And she's more than happy to come and meet with you at the center. We had 3 home visits, and with those 3 home visits, it also involved family support, which is helping the kids understand what's going on and giving them some advice. We had 10 people come for Shine to get counseling for their health insurance. Now, give or take, you have about 80 people that come during the month of April to have meals in the center, and that's not too bad. Delivered meals, give or take, about 400. Now, those are duplicate, okay? That's not 400 different individuals. So he also had one person who is continually right now getting some bereavement support. If you know of anybody or you yourself need some, I don't know, little help with bereavement issues, again, I can't say enough about Clark. So he's been, he does that with a home visit too, for somebody who's just not feeling like coming out. So it's fantastic, very loving. So feel free to contact him about bereavement support. He really followed in Fritzy's footsteps very well when it came to that. Professional meetings, he had 3. We didn't do any fuel assistance. And we sent off, we had 2 people ask for some senior home maintenance, very, very minor repair. And it doesn't cost them anything. We just send one of our volunteers over, tighten a couple of nuts and bolts. I assume that soon it'll be putting in air conditioners in people's windows for them like we did last year, and that kind of stuff. So that is the outreach report.
Are you still going to have fans available?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep,
like
yep.
you've done from time.
Yep, so-
Is that a loan? Are they loaned to people?
Yeah, it is a loan, and if
Or
somebody's...
kept if necessary?
Yes,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So we have plenty of access to that stuff, fans, bottles of water, and during the heat, we have quite a good little program for those that are needing a little cooling. We're also the cooling station, so when you get hot weather, hopefully coming up here, feel free to come on down to the center and stay cool. Stay cool.
This outreach report, the paper, how it's set up, very good,
Yeah,
very
it was good.
informative, yes.
Yeah, it came out
I
good.
think you probably need to review how they get in touch with people on the weekends if they need a cooling station.
Yes, yes. So you would want to call Sutton Police or Sutton Fire if you need to be part of the cooling station. From there, they will either have people they would probably open up either here at Town Hall, or they'd open up at the senior center or the school, because obviously we're not there. But if you call Sutton PD or Sutton Fire, then the word goes out from there, and they go to the proper people that open up for emergency management. So feel free to give either one of those two a phone call during hot weather, or any inclement weather, quite frankly. So. Any questions on the outreach?
No, I like that, the way it was.
Okay, I'm gonna have you grab the 2020 fiscal year budget, should be on there. It's a 1-page. Yes. So it kind of got cut off here at the top, but let me explain a little bit. So the first line is 2017. That was fiscal year 2017.
Okay.
Second year is fiscal year 2018. 2019, that's what we're in right now. The one that's next to it is what's current, what's left in there now. Okay? So currently, that's our spending in there. The 20, you'll see the word request underneath the word 20. That's 2020, that's next year's budget. That's what I requested, okay? And the next line over to that is what was given, okay? What was voted on. Now, you will see that if you go all the way down to the bottom where it says Total Council on Aging, and you look along that Total Council on Aging each year, those numbers have gone up, 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 and down. There is a misunderstanding right now, so I'm trying to hopefully help that maybe you guys could pass the word, that the senior center did not get a $5,000 raise. Your senior center director did not get a $5,000 raise. However, she'd probably like one. So if you see, that went down. And what made it go down was, if you look under custodial, we have tax work-off that will be taking care of that position. You will see a driver. Now, let me be perfectly clear. The custodial position was not eliminated to make a driver position. If you go down to expenses, you will see I underlined electricity, I underlined heating, and I underlined contracted services. Reappropriation of funds from there made that line possible. No position was taken to make another position. And I think that's my fault for not making that perfectly clear. So again, the driver position is not there because other positions or other people got cut, raises or anything like that. Our electricity bill, I asked for $7,000. Clearly, we do very well with electric right now, so now we only get $5,000. Heating went from $6,000. I asked for $6,000. It went down to $4,000. Since they have been doing such a, we had it insulated, we have a new furnace, we've been doing very well with our heating budget. As you can see, if you look under currently 2019, you can see that probably going forward, I don't need 7,000 or 7,500 for other lines. And contracted services went down to make that driver space as well, because that's where we have been taking a lot of that funding out of, a contracted service. That's what's being offered. So, does anybody have any questions or concerns? Good?
No?
Well, I have conflict of interest naturally.
Right,
Okay, so
right.
it's a problem, but I really don't see how you would get rid of custodial, okay? And it doesn't matter about the conflict. I just personally would not get rid of a custodial person. I don't mind about that, but it seems to me that one person should be responsible for that position.
Right, right.
Okay? Where now, if you have tax work-off, you don't have one person. I granted you are responsible ultimately,
Ultimately.
regardless. Okay?
Regardless.
Yeah, but I just
Yeah,
can't fathom that.
yeah. Well, currently, right
But
now.
I know it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, right now we pay 4 hours a week for that, which necessarily is just, which really is just bathroom and kitchen and dining room flooring. Everything else is being vacuumed and cleaned up and emptied by some volunteers. Starting in July 1st, we have 2 tax work-off people, which is providing a great service for some of these folks who want to remain in their home and have some money taken off of their taxes. They don't necessarily want to answer phones. They don't want to go to the school. There's some older gentlemen that want to just be able to tinker around and clean and whatnot. So you're absolutely right. Ultimately, it should be just one person. Maybe we can look in that going down the line. But for right now, I think that it provides a good opportunity for some tax work-off people. I just think it makes sense for right now.
Next question. For the whole year, you're going to need more than 2 tax work-off people.
Yes,
Is
yep.
that right?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Because
They're
$750 comes soon. I don't care that they're only getting
Oh,
$10 an
absolutely,
hour.
absolutely. And again, if you see anything that, is going by the wayside as a result of this, you feel free to come right up. My door is always open. So if it looks like that's not good, feel free to come and talk to me. But we do have several people waiting in the wing to do tax work-off, and they just don't want any of those other offerings that we have here at Town Hall. They're not computer savvy. They don't like talking on the phones. They don't want to work in kitchens. So that'll give some of the guys something to do. We'll see how it works out. If I fall flat on my face, we'll readjust it come about December, going on to next year.
If there becomes a day when there are nobody available to do the tax work, it would just go back to trying to hire somebody
Yes, yep,
again.
yep. And I think that they have some different things in the works when it comes to an overall person throughout the town. I can't speak to that just yet because that's not finalized or anything.
Right.
It's just kind of out there in the works to have one person or a couple of people that are,
It'd have to be more than one
It-
person.
well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well,
The town
obviously.
owns
Yeah.
quite a few
yeah,
buildings.
I mean, seriously. Okay, yeah.
But quite some time ago, there was one person who did, well,
The town
at
hall?
the town hall and both libraries, when Puckey Huddle was a library. And it worked quite well. Hopefully, they will get somebody who can include the senior center,
Yeah,
too.
it's
through the
it's kind of the
town.
scuttlebutt in
Right.
when we
Yeah.
were first working on this.
Yeah.
That maybe overall they need
It
somebody.
might come to that, right.
So in conjunction with some tax work, I don't know,
Right,
so,
because there is quite a bit to be done,
Yes.
really.
Yeah.
Let's face it, the building itself, there's a number of rooms and there's a
Yes.
lot of things to
Oh,
be
yeah,
done.
just like we were discussing
Yes.
the outside.
Yeah,
There's a
there
lot,
is.
Yeah.
I mean, that the
There is.
town
It's too
does
much.
not take care of the building.
Right, right.
Okay,
You
and
don't.
it should be taken care
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
The landscaping and,
Yeah.
and
We've
the
eliminated some of
plowing
that.
and the shoveling and all that. It is their building.
Yes. So, does that help clear up? Or, if you have anybody, honestly, I'll go blue in the face to tell you that my door is always open. Come in, pull me aside. I know there are a boatload of people that come in and out of that office that hang out, and I love the fact that everybody feels comfortable enough to all be friends and friendly. However, when somebody needs business done, there is many, many times that I will sit and they'll all leave hospitably without coming back and going, what was that about? They're actually pretty good folks that you have in there that don't come back in the office going, what did they want to see you about? And if they did, it's none of their business. I may like them all, but it's nobody's business. So if you feel that you need to talk to me, pull me aside. I'm always there. Even if it feels uncomfortable for you, let's say it's a complaint. I'm no stranger to those. So feel free to, to bring it over. I'll either agree or disagree. I don't
That
care.
is a small issue, though.
Yes.
I have heard several times, maybe more than several times, about people that would like to talk to you.
Yes.
They would go by and they'd see people sitting around in your office.
Yeah.
So they would
Yeah.
go right away. They
Yeah.
would not come
Because they're
back.
very intimidating.
I feel personally that maybe your office should be cleared more
Okay.
than what it is.
Yeah.
If they want to sit around, let them sit around in the office part.
In the office, but
Because-
absolutely,
because there
people would
are
be more
people
than
that
happy to
have-
do that.
Have said to me, I would like to talk to her, but
Yes.
there's always someone in there.
Yes.
You know,
And it isn't always just staff
No.
either. If you look, you'll see, and I don't want to
Right.
name names because
Right.
that wouldn't be right, but there's a lot of people that are seniors that just like to come in there and have office have office hours.
I would like to personally, talking on my own experiences, there's been a number of times when you would help me with different things, and I just go in, I either quietly just say to her, can I talk to you? Or I go in and I say, could I close the door? And I try to tell people that. I say, if you want to talk to her alone, just say, can I talk to you alone, and can we close the door? And it's always been that way,
If
so.
If you
I-
feel
With
I
me-
don't think-
People
I
coming
don't think
in-
that's the problem. A lot of people get intimidated and don't want to confront them, is what I'm
Right.
saying.
I would
And I
hope-
don't understand.
I don't
I
think
understand
it's,
what
and I
you're-
don't
yeah.
say it's their problem but people like to just be able to
It might
go
be a
into the
small
office.
issue.
Right,
Yeah.
it might be a small
Yeah.
issue and they don't even really think that it's that important, but every issue is important.
Absolutely.
And they want to be well known with you.
So
If they don't know how
my
to do it,
suggestion would be.
So rather, they'll just walk along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad that they don't go to the receptionist
I know, but
and say,
people are like
could I
that."
talk to Michelle for a minute?
Right.
And the receptionist could turn around and say, Michelle, somebody'd like to see you for a minute.
Oh, they do, some do.
So, I mean, my receptionist, actually,
Some do, though.
you're my forefront. So.
They've done it with me.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
asked,
Can
yeah,
you
they
have Michelle? Can
But
Michelle
there
come
are
in?
others that look
Well,
there
yeah.
and say, oh,
Right.
and
Yeah.
walk along.
Well, I will encourage people to feel free to come in, and I can also look at moving everybody out. But I'm going to tell you if it's going to be for one, it's going to be for them all. And I want to keep the happy, everybody feels
Right.
welcome, great environment that we seemingly have. And these people, and I'm going to be honest, it's staff. 99% of the time.
I still think, though, as board members, where we understand the situation, I think if we hear somebody say, I would like to see her alone, I think maybe we should just explain to them.
Or
to
come to
just
me and
say,
say, "Hey,
just
somebody'd
say,
like to
can
see
I
you."
speak to you privately, or can we close the door? I know they might be intimidated, but
I have said that, but
that's what I say, and if we
and
continue
that's
to
their
say
own
it.
personal issue, but I mean,
Right.
I have said that to
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Right.
If somebody approaches you, here's going to be like a little standard thing that says, oh, I can't ever see her. Maybe you keep that person's name and come into me and say, hey, so-and-so
idea. Right.
said something,
Right.
they can't see you. We can make this all work hospitably, but I also can limit what takes place in the office as well. I think we've always just had kind of a fun nature, whether it's the front office, my office, the lobby, doesn't matter kind of where you go, this welcoming family situation. Nobody just wants to kind of sit in their office alone. And some of the seniors just kind of like to get around and gab and, spar with some of us. It's wonderful. So, but I certainly can absolutely 100% lessen the amount of activity that goes on in the office. But if you do know of someone who has that concern, let me know, and I'll try and approach them.
Maybe cut back a little at times when people start coming
When it's
in
really
for
busy.
different
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Maybe
that's a good idea.
That would help
Sure.
a little bit.
Sure,
You
yeah,
know.
that's not a bad idea. I just want everybody to know, in 14 years, I think I've been fairly hospitable. So
you have. There's no doubt
if you
about
need
it.
something,
Yeah.
I will go above and beyond,
Yeah.
tooting my own horn to do that. Yeah, so feel free to, don't ever be shy.
No,
And
I have
nothing's
told
gonna offend me,
people,
believe me.
When they've come through, I
Yeah.
have told them, wait
Yeah.
a minute, and.
Yeah, wait a minute, I'll grab her. Yeah, yeah. Feel free.
I know, I personally have not heard anybody, I heard them say there are a number of people, but I've never heard anybody say they were reluctant to walk, whatever, the gauntlet, is that it? They don't like walking by the people who are there? I've never heard anybody say
They'll
that,
come in
but,
and they'll say, oh, she's busy, and they'll walk.
Oh.
by.
Yeah,
But then I'll say, well, wait a minute, and.
Yeah,
Right.
good.
But there's some that aren't that type, and they feel that they're interfering, and they're not going to. They'll just walk along.
Well, I
And maybe what
I mean,
they
it
have to
takes
say
different
isn't much.
personalities.
I
Some people are
understand.
gonna go in regardless.
right.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I'll be in the middle of talking to
I
somebody
mean,
personally and they
there
come in
are
anyway.
people that
Right.
go in there, you know, and
Right.
don't care, but you know,
You're right.
we're all different people.
I
We all
understand
have our
that. Some people are-
insecurities or-
yeah, are quieter. But I think you came up with a good idea. If somebody tells us, lets us know, if we take their name and go tell Michelle, she'll seek them out.
Yeah,
And
that's
she'll
good
say, do you
idea.
want to see me? And she'll bring them in her
That
office.
should work with anything.
It really should.
Anything that
It
you
should.
hear that you go, that's not quite.
Yeah.
Please come and let me know. I can't listen to all the. I can't have my ear on every corner.
Yeah.
But feel free to, come and ask me anything that you want, or tell me about whoever needs some extra help, or maybe they're not asking you for help. Maybe you just know that they could use some help, and I could approach them, or Clark can approach them. So, all right, enough about that.
Okay. Is there anything else on the budget? Anybody want to discuss? Okay, I think this is kind of it. The Friends have nothing quite to report right now. We will, I believe it's in August, probably in the August or September newsletter, which is a few months away. That's when we do our $50 gift certificates to several gas stations. It's just a giveaway. We kind of call it a raffle, but we're trying to just call it now the fuel giveaway.
Yes.
Because there's nothing.
More
no
appropriate.
takes- More appropriate, and we try to make that clear. So that will be coming up, but stay tuned. You'll see you'll see it in the newsletter. That's all we have for the Friends. Is there anything else? Is there anything anybody wants to discuss? Yes,
Yeah.
Wally?
I got 2 or 3 items. Perhaps the most important one is one we go out and we have the food pantry. And there's a tremendous misconception of who has access to the food pantry. And most people, I'm talking in the general population, think it's for seniors. They do not think it's for the general population, and which towns can go, their income requirements, and all the rest of this business. So I was wondering if Michelle could take a minute just for the general public and explain the details of the food pantry.
Good
Wally,
idea.
thanks for lobbing that up there.
Yes,
I
yes.
appreciate that. Okay, so again, the senior center is completely separate from the food pantry. They're 2 total different entities. They are linked together by a building, and they are run by some fantastic volunteers. So no taxpayer money goes into that building whatsoever. It is all 100% voluntary, right down to the food on the shelves, all people who donate. It is meant for anyone in need. Currently, probably out of all of the families that we have, or the number of people that we have 3 senior citizens who use it occasionally. And by that, I mean they will ask for peanut butter, jelly, tuna fish, very, very small, limited items. The senior center itself does a fantastic job in making sure that the seniors that are in need get the services that they need, whether they need Meals on Wheels, whether Clark goes over and does some home visits and gets them signed up for food stamps or services through Tri-Valley. The seniors, if in need, the senior center does an amazing job with taking care of them, I assure you that. The food pantry is families, a lot of families. And the average size of a family is about 4 tummies. can't give you a number right off the top of my head, and I certainly don't want to give you a number now because school is coming to an end and my shelves look nice and full right now. But come about the end of July, we'll be scrambling for stuff because those kids are home from school.
No
and
meals.
And apparently they eat you out of house and home.
Well, and they don't have the supplement of the school meal.
Right.
That's true.
So we go through a lot of breakfast items. Like right now, if you were to walk in the pantry, you'd go, oh my goodness, look at this. But you give it about a month and you'll go, ooh. So they go through a lot of lunchy type items like canned raviolis. I hate to say it, like canned meat, that kind of stuff. So thank you, Wally. There is no, right now, currently an income requirement for the food pantry. We have a wonderful system so far. It's worked out very well, seemingly, that when somebody signs up, they all have kids. So we contact the school and we make sure they're on a lunch program. We make sure that they're on some sort of a meal program. And then they kind of know the financial. I don't want to get into everybody's money business. If you're calling me because you need food, I'm assuming you need food. And it's once a month. And I just don't think that anybody's abusing it. We do follow up. The Board of Health follows up with all the people that sign up with a home visit. Do they have hot water, lights, heat? Do the kids have school supplies? Do they have clothes? That kind of stuff. We have right now currently people who are living in campgrounds, and the campgrounds have opened, and that's where they stay to save money. And our Board of Health is wonderful in gathering some stuff and information on the people that are living in the campgrounds and able to get them some food.
It is for Sutton residents
It is.
only.
It is for Sutton residents only. But if you call me and you're not a Sutton resident, I'm more than happy to point you to wonderful, loving pantries just as good as ours.
Yes, and there's many.
And they will help. I will give you the name, the number, the hours. I'll help you set it up if you need.
Right.
I will never look somebody in the face and tell them they can't have food.
Right.
So you have a lot of people that are on food stamps that come to the pantry just for toiletries. Feminine products, huge thing. Laundry soap, those kind of basic things. Toilet paper, tissues, paper towels, hand soap, dish soap, cleaning supplies. They just come and ask for just that. I really haven't seen any abuse, and if we've ever had any questions, we will confront the person, and we've had them not come back anymore. If they pull up in a car better than mine.
That's not an indication. Sometimes you lose your job, but you're not going to give up your car.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah,
So, and you know, I have to tell you that we kind of go above and beyond also with that. That senior center is a little bit of everything, because you have families that are in need of the food pantry, and then when you see them come in, you need to know, maybe they need to sign up for food stamps. Maybe they don't know how to, and we'll take that time to do that. We took time to make a resume for somebody who was going for a job, and they got that job. So I'm no stranger to helping people out. So we do a little bit of everything down there. Social
Not
services.
just food.
It's not.
not
It's
just
people.
food.
It's your
Yeah.
community. It's
Help. Right.
It's what we do.
That is-
I like
Excellent.
what happened the other day when this person, she came in with a card that she was advertising that she would do work. And I brought it to her, and I never realized this, but this is very good. They did a background check, what's going on, because they did it on other people.
Yeah.
So if somebody is giving you a card offering their services,
Right,
the Sutton Senior does a background first.
yeah, so anybody
And
that
I
offers.
never knew this.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
pleased that I
Yeah.
heard what you said.
Anybody who comes in saying maybe they're gonna be housekeeper, or they want yard work, or light maintenance, or they fix cars, or whatever, doesn't matter what it is, we run a Cory check on them,
And I thought that was good.
because I don't want them taking from
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and if it doesn't check out, unfortunately, they don't come back. But if they do, Clark and I keep that business card, or we'll post it up on the bulletin board down and back. But typically, we keep it, and if we hear of somebody in need, we'll refer them off. But everybody who offers any type of service, voluntary, even if it's volunteer, everybody gets a Cory check.
I think that's a good service.
Yeah.
It is very good. Is something else?
Sorry, I got
Yes,
two
no?
other items.
Yeah.
Looks like the quick one will be, has anybody heard of David McCulloch, who writes historical?
Yep.
Okay, a book came out last week called The Pioneers, which is the settling the Northwest Territories, and features our own Rufus Putnam. So, I've already read it. It's very interesting, and it describes the Ohio Territory and a lot of the political background. There's also the Native Americans and so forth. And I'd say the three criteria on which it was established, and these people all came from New England, and they were all from the Revolutionary War. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
Nice.
and what they did in Virginia, if you wanted property, you could just go out there and you tagged it and it was yours. Well, that's not the way it worked in New England.
No,
It had to be surveyed, and the state owned it, or in this case, the federal government. So Rufus, of course, he did that. He did a lot of other things, but that was one thing. Secondly, there was education. And keep in mind the differences between this concept. There was not education in the South, in a general sense that you had to go. They would have a school. Massachusetts started a school if you had more than 50 inhabitants back in the middle 1600s. You had to have a school. There was no fooling around with this. That was part of it. And the third thing was no slaves. So it was kind of fascinating. That's how they built that whole thing, and all the ups and downs and so forth. But I think it's a fascinating read.
Cool,
And
thanks.
does mention Sutton. And also another individual who's going to write a book specifically on Rufus, and he's in his process of doing research at this point, and that should be out probably next year.
Nice.
Now I want to just pass that along.
Thanks, Rory.
The last thing is there's a presentation made to the Board of Selectmen on the 7th of May for the Sutton Residential Housing Needs Study. This is the research and the completed report that the Central Mass Regional Planning did. This is all part of that presentation that we had, one at the Senior Center and one up here in this room. And I think a lot of the members here actually participated in that. It was very well received. This is just to give them a general idea of what we're looking at or would hope to achieve. Keep in mind, we have, the state goal is 10% affordable, and we're at 1.5. And that, so we do have a way to go.
Do you mean May 7th or June 7th? You said May 7th.
It was Maine said it was done 2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
okay, it was
So
done, okay.
I'm sorry, you could see it on one of the,
Okay.
Certainly, if you go to.
So it was already done?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
If you go to suttonma.org, and you can pull that down and see that meeting.
be on YouTube, I
Yes,
believe,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
And the last item along these same lines is, we have this Wedgewood over 55 complex on Arsby Road. I assume, has everybody heard about that? And originally they were looking at 88 units, and now they're at 93, primarily because they can attach to town sewer and also Wilkinsonville water, which makes a big difference. You don't have to have your
Lot
wells. and-
size.
Now are these going to be for sale or for rent or what? On Onsborough
Sale.
Road?
They're for sale. They're
Sale.
condominiums.
And what are they, condo type
Yes,
buildings? And they're for sale. Are some going to be according to income?
yes. And they started with 8, and now they're at 12. And we
Okay.
had a meeting last night, and no, I left my notes in the car, I apologize. But there'll be 5 units at 1 bedroom and 1 car garage. And I think there's 5 units at maybe like 2 bedrooms and a 2-car garage. Or maybe it's 1 bedroom and 2-car garage, I'm not total. But say the largest units would be a 2 bedroom, I don't know if there are any 3s, and 2-car garage, that would be the big one. And they're like 4 levels, and they're, you know, 2 here, 3 there, whatever the number is. So it's just a cross representation, they're not all stuck on the bottom.
Okay.
The
No
lowest one.
rentals, no rentals.
No rentals.
You know, I am asking there's 2 families in Sutton. One has already sold his home, and he couldn't find a rental in Sutton at all, and he ended up in Grafton. And there's another couple I know that really want to sell their home, and they want to go in a rental, and there's nothing.
That's funny, because I did put a call
And
out
I-
on
well,
Facebook for
saying
that.
I
Yeah.
saw that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I live in a, we get into rentals and condominiums, you're in a whole other world, okay?
Sure.
One of the, and I live in a condominium, okay? One of the issues with rentals and condominiums is if you have too many rentals in there, the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they're the people that actually give the money. It's a federal organization where no matter who you pay, credit union, whatever, it all goes down there. If you have too many rentals as a percentage, they will not finance anything. So that means the condo unit people can't sell unless somebody has cash to pay up front, which is not typically the way it happens. Sometimes it does. So you have to be very aware of how many rentals you have in percentage to total units. That was one thing. They did mention it briefly at the beginning, but that all went away. And the other problem is if you have the unit owners, there's an association that actually runs this thing after the developer gets through. Okay, now if you have certain units just specified for rentals, I think it's a bag of worms. I mean, in my unit, we have 12 units, we have 1 that is being rented out. But that's a whole different thing than having it designated, and who's
As a
gonna take
rental.
care of it? And why should the other unit owners do this? Because where does the money go? I mean, it'd be comparable as one of these issues we were talking about here earlier, We spent a lot of time and not much would happen. It's so, now if a unit owner wants to rent it out, that's their prerogative unless it's not specified in the agreement, for the
Right.
overall agreement that you have to sign. So,
You really
I think there
can't
should be,
combine
maybe there
the
should be.
two, really, huh?
Pardon me?
You really can't combine the two.
Compare.
Not really. If you want, my perspective was if you want rentals, you'll build a unit, like an apartment house, 4 rentals, and you don't have condos in there.
No,
that's-
just
yeah,
apartment house
That'd
with
be my
rentals.
approach to it. I think
So
it's
that's
good.
what we lack though in Sutton, is anything
some
for rentals in
rentals.
Sutton.
We
I
lack
think that
rentals.
all towns lack that,
Yeah.
I
actually.
do, I think you're right.
Around
I
here,
think
the
you're right,
majority
yeah.
of them, all towns,
Except that we're like, say we're 1.5%, Millbury's at 5,
yeah.
Grafton's at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So we are truly lacking compared to our neighboring towns.
Yeah,
Again, I'm just talking, not rentals and
Yeah,
services,
but-
just low-income housing,
Yeah.
or I shouldn't say low-income, affordable housing. There is a
Affordable.
difference.
Right, yes.
Because the people that buy into this thing, they own it.
right.
It's not like, that they're just getting this thing given, and they can't turn around and sell that at market rate. And this is established by the general income of the area, southern Worcester County. So it's not like you can go in there and buy it for one number and then flip it into a different number. That's just not the way it works. Because there's always gonna be somebody else coming along. And one of the biggest things, and it was pointed out in the presentation, is, we concentrate primarily on seniors. But there's also this whole thing, where do the young people that have came in here, went away, got educated, and now want to come back here? How do they get into this town?
Yeah.
If you think about it, in terms of purchasing something, which is, we have a pretty high, we're very high, we're right up there with Grafton and the whole lower Blackstone Valley in terms of median housing cost for the basic house. We're in the mid-3s or 4. It means half are under and half are over.
Yeah.
But we're up there, much higher than, say, Oxford, Northbridge, Millbury, you know. It just comes with the territory. So, so it really is a double-edged,
Right.
you know, there's really two ends here. How was that? That's it.
Wonderful. Thanks,
Thank
Wally.
you. Thank you
I
for your
appreciate
input
that.
and your information.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting. It's at 10:05.
Yep.